Hello, my name is Yomi Fawemi. I'm a human resources professional that practices in Nigeria, Canada, and the USA. My role is to help you understand how the workplace works. March is the month dedicated to women. Actually, the International Women's Day is celebrated in the month of March. And in some countries, March is dedicated, the whole of March is dedicated for women or for women history. So, as part of my own advocacy for women and girls and to ensure gender equality, I decided to do a series of videos to review some interesting court cases where court had to intervene to protect the right of women. In one of the videos, I reviewed a case in Nigeria about immigration. I also reviewed another case from Canada where there was argument about is a woman is a person. So today, I am going to be talking about a particular case again from Nigeria. It was a case about inheritance, and if you're a Nigerian and you follow or you're a student of inheritance or customary law, the question of inheritance is very important. So, in this particular case, a man died, Mr. Lazarus Ukeje. He died interstate. This man was from the southeastern part of Nigeria, Umaya to be precise, but he lived in Lagos. So he died interstate, and because he died interstate, people needed to apply for letters of administration for to be able to share his property after he died. So his first son and his mother went to apply for letters of administration. Interestingly, this late Pa Lazarus had a female child that was not part of the process. This boy, the first son and the mother, argue that a girl should not inherit from her father. And the girl was not happy with that and said, listen, this man is my father. If you are a child and you are a son, I didn't choose to be a girl. Our father had both of us. Why would I be disinherited? So she went to court. And in court, she did something very brilliant. She was able to establish with documentary evidence and links to show that she was the daughter of this man. One, she had a valid birth certificate that showed that, which was very, very important in determining her relationship with the late man. She also had pictures that showed her with the man, and also had a point where the man signed, I think it's an affidavit or statement of support for her. So she went to the court, and the court in Lagos brilliantly said, yes, that's true. You are this man's daughter, and therefore you should be able to inherit part of your father's property. The court said that based on Nigerian Constitution, you cannot be discriminated against because you're a woman. You think about it and say, okay, so what happened afterwards? Afterwards, the mother, now this woman is not the daughter's mom, it's another wife. The mother and the first son, who is this woman's stepbrother, went on appeal. They said, no, we're going to fight it. Our sister, in the case of the boy, my half sister, in the case of the woman, my stepdaughter cannot inherit because it's against Igbo custom. When they got to the Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal said, no, that's not going to happen. This girl will inherit because she's a Nigerian, and the Nigerian Constitution says you cannot discriminate against her on the basis of agenda. So this first son and the mother lost the case. You think they will rest? No, they didn't rest. They went to the Supreme Court. And at the Supreme Court, the lead judgment led by retired Justice Rhodes-Vivour took that decision and said a custom that disinherits a woman just because it's a woman is contrary to the Nigerian Constitution, and set it aside. Now, what is very interesting about that case is that Justice Rhodes-Vivour is not from the Southeast, he's a Lagosian. But because of the power of the law and because of the instrumentality of the Nigerian Constitution, he was able to say, this can't happen in Nigeria. Even though you say it's your custom, it can't hold against the Nigerian Constitution. And so says the lady has a right to inherit. And so you will hear of the case Ukeje Versus Ukeje. After this Justice Rhodes-Vivour retired, and this is very, very important because many times people do not understand what influences judges and the decisions they make. This judge was asked, how did you come to that conclusion? Because it was a very notable pronouncement, because it was going to change the cause of women, particularly with respect to inheritance. And the man said, when the case came, I was to do the lead judgment. and you will shock you. He said, I remembered I was taught in Bible study in church. You can reference what I said. And that there were these daughters of a man called Zelophehad that came to meet Moses in the Bible. And you can reference what I said, that he said so. And said, you should not disinherit us because we're women. We should be able to inherit part of our father's property. And Moses asked God, as recorded in the Bible, and God said, give him their inheritance because they are women. So Justice Revival said, wait, if many years ago, this was the time of Moses, there was no Beijing Conference, there was no International Declaration, there was no Nigerian Constitution, they respected the right of women to inherit from their parents. Why should we in Nigeria deviate from that? Again, of course, it's contrary to the Constitution. The man said so. I'm saying this so that we can think about how we can influence people to take the right decisions about women. Whosoever touched Justice Rhodes-Vivour, that scripture, did not know it was going to change the course of all women just because of that. I am saying this for us to realize everybody needs to honor, respect, and protect women's rights, the same way the Supreme Court did. And so if you're a woman today and you're enjoying the benefit of marriage for your parents, remember the role of Roslyn Ukeje, who made it possible. Remember the role of the Supreme Court, who made it possible. And remember the role of Justice Ukeje, Justice Rhodes-Vivour, who read the lead judgment. But also think about whosoever taught Justice Rhodes-Vivour to look at that case from the Bible. It's important because maybe perhaps that person was the Abinga that set a course and put this man in that right pedestal to take the right decision about women. So, are you a workplace manager, HR, entrepreneur, CEO, government official? Remember, you can do the right thing and ensure no woman is cheated. Let's ensure we support women around us. Happy World International Women's Day to all the women in the world. And let's all become advocates for girls and boys.